Without a doubt, WrestleMania is the biggest professional wrestling show of the year. These days, the event has been broken up into 2 nights of action-packed bouts. For night 1 of Mania 39, we have titles on the line as well as grudge matches. This is Wrestling Hub, and in this video, we're taking a look at everything that happened during night 1 of WrestleMania 39. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Kicking off the first night of WrestleMania 39, we had Austin Theory defending his United States title against John Cena. The champion made his entrance first as Cena came out second with Make-A-Wish children on the entrance ramp to support him. As the match got underway, Cena and Theory locked up, with Theory getting a headlock. Cena would push him off the ropes and get a quick shoulder tackle. Cena took control of the match, putting Theory into a side headlock on the ground. Theory tried to get a headlock of his own, but ate another shoulder tackle for his effort. Theory then got Cena against the turnbuckle and bit his ear. After throwing Theory out of the ring, Cena would be blindsided by Austin. Theory would then begin to take advantage, getting a 1 count after a suplex. Another suplex would once again result in a 1 count. Cena would then reverse a suplex, hitting one of his own. Cena and Theory went back and forth before Theory hit a jumping blockbuster. Going to the top rope, Theory would taunt the crowd. Hitting a drop kick on Cena, Theory would get a 2 count. Going for the same move twice, Cena would swat away Theory and lock in the STF in the middle of the ring. Theory would get out of the hold by once again biting Cena. Theory would then shoulder tackle Cena. Theory then continued beating down Cena with strikes and stomps. Cena would catch a stomp and look for the attitude adjustment, which would be countered into a DDT by Theory, resulting in a 2 count. Cena and Theory would trade shots in the middle of the ring before Theory got a sleeper hold locked in. Cena would fight back and get Theory in position for the 5-knuckle shuffle. Cena hit his signature move, looking for his finisher. Theory held on to the top rope as the official got knocked down. Cena put Theory in the STF, which Theory tapped out too, but there was no referee to see it. Cena let go of the hold as Theory hit Cena with a low blow. Theory then got Cena up for the A-Town down and the 1-2-3. Austin Theory successfully defends his US title by defeating John Cena. Next, we had a men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match where it was Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. It was said that whatever team wins this bout was likely to get a shot at the WWE Tag Team title. To start it off, it would be Ricochet and Chad Gable. Ricochet would look for a quick cover as Gable then looked for an ankle lock. The two continued to quickly move through transitions as Gable kicked Ricochet in the gut and got a tag to Otis. The big man was able to take down Ricochet with a shoulder tackle and tag Gable back in to double team Ricochet. Ricochet would then tag in Strowman as everyone then entered the ring. This led to a massive brawl between all competitors. Eric and Ivar would take advantage, taking out Gable and then Ricochet. The Viking Raiders then targeted Montez Ford, hitting him with the Ragnarok. The Raiders would then be confronted by Braun Strowman, who hit them with a double shoulder tackle. Chad Gable would attempt to German suplex Braun, which at first did not work, but then he hit his turnbuckle German suplex as this got a massive ovation from the crowd. Gable headed to the top rope as Angelo Dawkins tagged himself in. Dawkins went to the top rope as Ivar tagged himself in. Ivar then went to the top rope and missed a moonsault. Braun Strowman then went up top and hit a frog splash on Ivar, with the pin broken up by everyone else. Otis then hit the world's strongest slam on Braun. Montez would be up on the top rope as Gable, Eric, Otis, and Ivar set up a superplex, with Ricochet diving on top of Gable. Braun Strowman would then look to hit the running shoulder tackle on everyone at ringside. He would be stopped by Angelo Dawkins. Ricochet would then hit Dawkins and Ivar with a shooting star press to the outside. Ricochet went to the top rope to hit another shooting star press, but the knees of Dawkins were up. Montez would then hit a splash on Ricochet with Dawkins holding him as the Street Profits defeated the Viking Raiders, Alpha Academy, and Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Next up, we had Seth freaking Rollins taking on Logan Paul. Logan would make his entrance on a zip line as he was mic'd up for this, and of course had a Prime Energy mascot accompany him. Seth Rollins would come out with the help of an orchestral conductor as Rollins had on quite the outfit. To start the match, Rollins got a headlock on Paul, moved to a wrist lock and backed off. Meeting in the middle, Rollins got another headlock as Paul got a headlock of his own. Logan would be Irish whipped into a shoulder tackle by Rollins. Rollins would hit a kick to the midsection, looking for the stomp early, as Paul got out of the way. Paul whipped Rollins into the ropes before throwing him over the top, reminding Rollins of being eliminated at the Royal Rumble. Rollins entered the ring and hit a double leg takedown as Logan rolls out of the ring. Logan would hang Rollins up on the rope and hit a Maverick Lariat. Logan then cocked up his right hand and hit it to the midsection of Rollins. Logan then began unloading with body shots on Rollins against the ropes. Logan then hit a kitchen sink knee after sending Rollins into the ropes. Paul then hit a stomp to the midsection. Logan got a fireman's carry as Rollins reversed, looking for a splash in the corner. This led to Logan hitting a crossbody on Rollins and getting a near fall. Seth Rollins would catch Logan with a couple forearms as Logan locked in a seated octopus submission. Rollins worked his way out of the hold as they hit each other with strikes on the ground. Logan got a near fall with a gut wrench suplex. Paul then hit Rollins with some ground and pound. Logan then jumped to the top rope and missed a moonsault. Rollins would then build momentum for a comeback, hitting clotheslines on Paul. Rollins then sent Logan over the top to the outside. Rollins then hit a suicide dive and then hit two more after that. Rollins would then stomp the hand of Logan against the steel steps. Getting back in the ring, Rollins looked for the pedigree as it would be reversed and led to the two exchanging pin attempts. Logan would hit Rollins with the right hand but was unable to get the cover in time, only getting a 2 count. Rollins would catch Paul mid-air with a powerbomb. The Prime Energy mascot would pull Logan out of the ring, saving him from the stomp, as the mascot turned out to be KSI. Rollins attempted to go after KSI as Logan took advantage on the outside. Paul would then clear the announce table and put Rollins on top. Paul went to the top rope, but KSI was pulled onto the table as Paul went through his friend. Rollins then pulled Paul into the ring and hit the pedigree for a 2 count. Looking for the stomp, Rollins would be countered into the GTS by Paul. Logan then went to the top rope and hit a frog splash for a 2 count. Logan then went to the top looking for the coast to coast, but was hit with a super kick from Rollins. Rollins then hit the stomp in the middle of the ring for the pinfall as Seth Rollins defeats Logan Paul. Then we had a 6-woman tag team match between the team of Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch facing Damage Control's Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Before the bell even rang, both teams met in the middle of the ring and brawled. Damage Control was sent to the outside as Becky hit a baseball slide on Dakota and brought her into the ring to start the bout. Kai would take control, putting Lynch into her team's corner, allowing Bayley and then Io to tag in and attack. Io would keep control of Becky, hitting a top rope drop kick for a near fall. Bayley would be tagged as Dakota then tagged in to hit a triple team maneuver. Lita came in and began beating down Io Sky. Lita hit an interesting looking head scissor into the top turnbuckle as she then hit the vertigo for a near fall. Lita would be hit by Dakota on the apron as Io got a 2 count. Damage Control got in the ring and triple kicked Lita as Bayley got a 2 count. Io tagged in and continued the beatdown on Lita. Kai came in and did the same. Another double tag resulted in Bayley and Io getting reversed into a double DDT by Lita as she was able to tag in Trish. Stratus went to work on all of Damage Control and hit a Thez press on Kai. Trish hit Kai with a collection of chops and hit a neck breaker on Kai for a near. Becky would find her way into the match with a leg drop on Kai and locked in the disarm her. Bayley broke it up and brought Kai over to tag herself in. Bayley and Becky then traded moves as she hit the Rose Plant for a near fall as Lita broke it up. Trish would hit Stratisfaction on Kai. Bayley hit the Bayley to belly on Trish as Becky got a near fall with a roll up. With everyone on the outside, Io hit a moonsault on them. Both teams would end up in the ring going at it once again. Lita went to the top rope for a lead assault on Kai and Sky. Bayley looked for a top rope Bayley to belly, but was reversed by Becky into a top rope manhandle slam for the 3 count. Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus defeat Damage Control. The match that would follow was a father versus son bout with the newly minted WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio taking on Dominik Mysterio. Being escorted by officers, Dominik made his way out with a luchador mask as he had his handcuffs unlocked before entering the ring. Rey Mysterio would make his way to the ring riding with Snoop Dogg in a lowrider as Eddie Guerrero's theme song began to play. As the bell rang, the two came face to face before Dom shoved his father away. They locked up with Dom throwing Rey aside. Dom got a waist lock, but would be sent to the outside by Rey. Dom came back in and got into a shoving match. Dom then hit a shoulder tackle. Rey came back with a Hurricane Rana. Dom slapped Rey but was sent into the corner. Rey then took off his belt and began whipping Dom in the corner. Dom then came face to face with his family, throwing water on his sister, which provided a distraction for Dom to attack Rey, sending his father into the ring post. Dom then began to grind Rey down in the ring. Dom hit a top rope arm drag and a Michinoku driver for a near fall. Dom then brought Rey to the outside and went to his mother, who slapped him. Rey took advantage, slamming Dom into the ring post. Rey kissed his wife and then threw his son into the ring. Rey hit a seated senton and then a crossbody for a 2 count. The Judgment Day were then seen at ringside as Dom reversed a Canadian Destroyer, sending Rey into the turnbuckle. Dom then began to hit the Three Amigos but was reversed. Rey then hit the 619 and went to the top rope as Priest pulled Rey down, with Balor distracting the ref. Dominik would take advantage, hitting his father. Then the newly formed Latino World Order would come out and take on Balor and Priest, with Santos Escobar hitting a suicide dive on Priest. Dom then hit Rey with a clothesline in the ring and set him up for the 619, which he hit. Dom went to the top and hit the frog splash, getting a 2 count. Dom would expose the steel turnbuckle, which diverted the referee's attention, with Dom grabbing a steel chain in the corner. Bad Bunny took the chain as Rey dropped Dom with the 619 and went to the top for the splash, getting the 3 count. Rey Mysterio defeats Dominik Mysterio. Then we had Charlotte Flair defending the SmackDown Women's title against 2023 Women's Royal Rumble winner Rhea Ripley. With a lockup to start the match, Charlotte would get a headlock before being dropped by Ripley. Rhea would then get shoulder tackled and sent out of the ring. Flair hit a trademark chop before being sent into the corner. Flair then fought back with strikes. Going to the top rope, Flair hit a cross body. After going back and forth, Ripley dropped Charlotte onto the turnbuckle. Ripley began to take control and beat down Flair. Flair got back into it with a roll-up for a near fall. Ripley then hit multiple forearms to the back of Charlotte, dropping the champion. Ripley would then get a near fall with a suplex. Flair began to fight her way back, building momentum with clotheslines. She then began to hit Rhea with chops. Flair went for a cross body, but Ripley rolled through. Flair would counter the Riptide into a DDT for a 2 count. Ripley would then counter the figure 4 as they both hit each other with big boots. After going back and forth, Charlotte would suplex Ripley. Going to the top rope, Flair looked for the moonsault as Ripley suplexed her off the top for a near fall. Flair then hit a chop block and natural selection for a 2 count as Ripley rolled to the outside. Ripley sidestepped a spear as Flair went shoulder first into the steel steps. Ripley would then drive Flair face first in the ring for a 2 count. Ripley would then hit a German suplex on Flair as Charlotte looked like she landed on her head. Flair then hit a big boot for a 2 count. Flair looked for the figure 4 once again, but to no avail. Flair then hit a big boot, sending Rhea to the outside. Charlotte went to the top rope, hitting a moonsault to Rhea on the outside. Rhea would once again counter the figure 4, headbutting Charlotte, then hitting the Riptide for a 2 count. Flair got a small package for a 2 count as Ripley locked in the cloverleaf submission. Flair got to the ropes getting out of the submission and then speared Ripley for a 2 count. They began trading strikes. Flair then hit a big boot and got the figure 4, but Ripley got a hold of the ropes. Flair and Ripley ended up on the top rope as Charlotte went face first into the ring post. Ripley then hit Charlotte with a top rope Riptide for the 3 count as Rhea Ripley defeats Charlotte Flair to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Prior to the main event, the hosts of WrestleMania, Snoop Dogg and The Miz, would talk about how it would be cool if Miz had a match at Mania. Miz then mentioned he put out an open challenge and no one answered. Then out came Pat McAfee. Pat then confronted Miz, saying there was no open challenge posted online, but McAfee was ready to wrestle nonetheless. Snoop made the match official and a ref was brought into the ring. The bell rang as McAfee unloaded on Miz. Pat hit a spinebuster, then put Miz on the top rope. Pat backflipped off the top and hit a super kick to Miz. Miz then tried to walk off as George Kittle of the 49ers was shoved by Miz as he took out Miz on the outside. McAfee went to the top rope and hit Miz with a senton. McAfee hit Miz with a punt for the win as Pat McAfee defeated The Miz. And for the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania 39, we had the Usos defending the undisputed tag team title against the team of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Starting off, we had Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn. Jimmy would then tag in Jay. The two locked up as Jay got Sami in a headlock and then hit a shoulder tackle. Sami then hit a Thez press and hammered away at Jay. Sami was sent to the outside as Jimmy beat down Zayn. Jay then hit a suicide dive on Sami. Jay brought Sami into the ring and beat him down. Jimmy would be tagged in and beat down Zayn and took a cheap shot at Owens. Jay got the tag and hit a splash in the corner on Zayn for a 2 count. Sami took out Jimmy and sent Jay over the top rope and got to Owens for the tag. Kevin went to the top and hit a senton onto the Usos on the outside. Owens then clotheslined the Usos and brought Jay into the ring. He frog splashed Jimmy, then went to the top rope and hit a splash on Jay in the ring. Jay took control and got Owens on the top rope as Jimmy tagged in. Owens hit a senton, but Jay got his knees up as Jimmy hit the Uso splash. Kevin hit a cannonball on Jimmy as Jay tried to prevent Owens from hitting Jimmy with the swanton. Sami hit a brainbuster on Jay on the apron as Owens hit the swanton for a 2 count. Sami went to the top rope after getting the tag for an Uso splash on Jimmy for a 2 count. Jay would then hit a super kick on Sami for a 2 count. The Usos would hit super kicks on Sami as Owens broke up the pin. Owens would then be hit by a kick as well. Jay and Jimmy then hit kicks to a downed Sami as this got a 2 count. After another pair of super kicks, Jimmy got a 2 count off Sami. Jay tagged in as the Usos went for the 1D as Owens pulled Jimmy out and Sami rolled Jay up for a 2 count. Owens took Jay to the announce table, but the Usos countered and double choke slammed him through it. The Usos then hit the 1D on Sami for a 2 count. Jay then beat down Sami with slaps and strikes in the corner. Jay then hit Sami with the haluva kick as Jay held Zayn up. Zayn then hit an exploder on Jay. Sami then got the tag to Kevin, who pop-up powerbombed each Uso. Sami then hit the haluva kick on Jimmy and Owens hit the stunner on Jay for a 2 count. The two teams came to their feet in the middle of the ring and started to brawl. Owens got hit with super kicks from the Usos as Sami ate a couple as well and went to the outside. Jimmy and Jay then went to the top to hit the stereo Uso splash for a 2 count. The Usos double super kick Owens in the corner as Jimmy and Jay put Owens on the top rope. Sami pulls Jimmy to the outside and tosses him over the announce table. Owens then slams Jay from the top rope. Sami gets the tag from Owens and hits the haluva kick 3 times on Jay, while Owens hits the stunner on Jimmy for the 3 count, as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defeat the Usos to become the new undisputed tag team champions. And that was night 1 of WrestleMania 39. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.